Hi, for this video I want to show you how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. In order to complete the square, you must get your x terms on the left-hand side and your constant term on the right-hand side. So my first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to move the negative 10 to the opposite side by doing the opposite. So I'm going to change that to positive 10. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to have x squared minus 4x. And I left a space because on both sides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a number in this in order to make it so that this is a perfect square trinomial. So basically what's going to happen is every time you're completing the square, we are going to fill in this blank here by taking half of the middle term. So I'm going to take half of this term right here, and I'm going to square it. So I'm going to take half of negative 4 squared. So half of negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. And then whatever I add to the left-hand side, I must also add to the right-hand side. And the reason that we did that is that this now is going to be a perfect square trinomial where I can break this up into x minus 2 squared equals 14. And this part right here, basically whatever half of the middle term was, the negative 4, divided by 2 is going to be the value that goes inside of here. So the reason that this works out this way is because if I were to FOIL this back out, x times x is x squared, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and then if I add the two negative 2's in the middle, I get the negative 4. So every single time you complete the square, this term right here is going to be whatever half of the middle term was. So now simply all we have to do is solve for x. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of both sides. And so the left-hand side becomes x minus 2. The right-hand side, remember that we're looking for both solutions to this. So we have to put both the positive and the negative in front of it. If you can simplify your answer, you would do so at this point. But I don't need to simplify it, or I can't simplify this one because 14 is 2 times 7, and so there are no perfect squares that divide into 14. And then our last step is just to get x by itself. So we would have x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 14. And this would be our final answer. So our final answer is x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 14. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask them. And if there are additional topics that you need me to cover, please let me know that as well.